Hey there, everybody. Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with a look at this beautiful holster from Hidden Hybrid Holsters. Now, when it comes down to it, I'm a little bit of a junkie at this point for holsters. It's like a chick in a purse. I just love holsters, and for a few different reasons. I mean, first off, as a reviewer, I do need to continually move forward with my channel, find things that work, and try to find what I'm searching for to be optimum products. And I guess I'm going to start my entire review by saying this, in my opinion, is about as good as it gets for my needs at this point with what I've learned. I love carrying Appendix, so this is an IWB holster. I love Kydex and leather combinations. Yep, check that box. And I love holsters that really do help me conceal and conceal well. And that's really where this starts to kind of take off from what I've used in the past. Now, I kind of premise this by saying every firearm is going to make a difference in terms of its capabilities to be properly concealed, time of year, your actual wardrobe, maybe even like how fit you are at the exact moment that you're trying things out. But here, my SIG P229, which is just a fairly large yet compact at the same size handgun. I know that sounds funny, but in this day and age with micro compacts and the ability to really keep a tight, tidy profile with a good amount of round count in the magazine, well, you don't necessarily need a full frame gun, but here you can see, even though this is compact, heavy duty, hammer fired, little bit larger, kind of thick, just oversized in terms of what a lot of people would tend to carry in this day and age. However, I have made the decision that that is what I want to carry for a number of reasons. And so I've really been searching for something that is going to be effective. And this has been nothing less than perfect. I love this holster. And so before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Hidden Hybrid Holsters who did provide this for review. If you like what you see here today, do me a favor, look in the description box below where you can find links to your own Hidden Hybrid holsters. Again, fantastic product, very nicely made. And you'll notice this is a little bit beat up. I've been using this and loving it. And this came out of the box absolutely pristine. So as you take a look at this, as it came direct from the factory, just absolutely beautiful. This is the SIG Sauer P229 with rail, Appendix, strong side, optic ready holster. There are a number of different variants, different types of Kydex. You can get different concealment claws. Here you can see I actually have the little wing. You can get different clips. So customizable, very, very nice in terms of your ability to get this perfectly dialed in. But what I really do like is the fact that with the concealment wing, this really does a nice job tucking very tight up against my side, and it actually works very well for my body type. Now, as I get this installed, you can see here, good overall trigger coverage, full trigger coverage, no problem there, nice and quality coverage. Real easy to get my hands on this, so you can see generous space and cutout. And even at that, when it's tucked in full depth, you can see the deep ride clip there. There's still plenty of room for me to get my hand, withdraw, no problem. Now, the reason why this is getting kind of beat up on the side, my particular variant of the P229, this is the Elite, and this has the decocker, which you can see is an oversized control on the side of the firearm, and that's right in line where this is getting kind of beat up and rubbed against. Now, that's not a bad thing because it's actually seating itself perfectly and marrying itself to the firearm itself. So even though this is the 229 with the rail, it doesn't necessarily dictate whether or not it's 229 Legion, 229 Elite, and each one has slightly different controls. So the fact that my holster is actually wearing into my particular firearm, I like that. I don't mind it. And a little bit of hard use patina goes a long way. So at the end of the day, does that bother me? Not in the least. Now you'll notice that things are maybe loosening up just a bit. Now I've been using this and carrying it at length. I don't have any problems with retention. However, if I wanted to snug up on this, and I probably will, you'll notice that underneath here you do have retention screws. So this can squash together, tighten that up. 2 different locations, which is nice. So you can really tighten that up, get it nice and even, and then squash down on the front just a little bit. Now, I don't think I necessarily need to do that. What I can tell you is this would, if I was upside down, literally fall right out of here at that point. But in appendix carry, not such a big deal. If I was running super hard, maybe. So I am getting to the point right now. I mean, I'm just getting to that point where everything's starting to break in nicely, and really get contoured fit. Now, I premise this and kind of caveat that by saying it is also tighter once it's on my body. Of course, this is an appendix style carry. You can see on the back that real nice suede side of the leather. Super soft and smooth, doesn't bother my skin at all. It is dyed black. I haven't found that any of the dye has come off either on my skin or on any of my clothing, so no problems there. You do end up with these exposed screws, but again, nothing sharp. They're very flat, and in fact, they're subtly recessed. Not really like they've, keywayed or made a recessed hole or pocket for the screws. But by the time they've tightened down and kind of sucked them in, they do recess and they fit fairly flush, all things considered. So from that perspective, very effective. Now, as you take a look around the outside, you'll see everything nicely stitched. It is machine stitched, so obviously, you can see that there's the foot from the sewing machine does leave an imprint. That doesn't bother me. Functionality first. Nice and thick on the leather, so good quality, thick leather, and then that beautiful embossed logo right on the top. Now, just to add to this with some technical specs, when you look at the thickness of the Kydex, this is what they're going to call that Goldilocks Kydex thickness of 0.093. So you can get different thickness options, and you can see here just the perfect, I would say, middle ground between the moldability and the ability to get that nice, crisp, sharp look, nice lines, great fit, and really something that's going to be thick enough that it's durable. So striking that perfect balance. I love this carbon fiber look, so that kind of carbon fiber gray matches everything very well. You can see here that I ended up with aftermarket grips and just everything kind of playing very well together. That was by design. Obviously, you can pick your Kydex in style. When you look at the leather itself, this is Amish leather backing, so you can see the suede, 9 to 10 ounce. Gorgeous leather, nice and thick, and they have rounded and smoothed out all the corners. Everything perfectly burnished, nice and polished, extremely well done all the way around. Their fit and finish is absolutely gorgeous. Nice quality screws, great hardware, everything about this fantastic. And as you take a look at this particular clip, as I mentioned, you can get multiple clip options. This is the 1.5 inch belt loop. You can also get 1.75, and then you can get more ulti-clip style, but I like this 1.5 inch. I wear that size belt most of the time, and this has just a little flexibility here where that will cant itself around by the angle that you need, tuck in the way that you need, and just perform easily. And you can see actually, now that I've moved this around a little bit, has loosened up, so I'll probably torque down on my screws just a touch, but that gives you that cant that you need and fits exactly where you need on your belt. Which now, if you take a look at how this is mounted, again, that 1.5 inch webbing on my belt itself, that clip fitting down nicely. Now that has a little bit of a lip on that, which allows you to easily take it off. That's fantastic. And worth noting, that wing tucks right down and inside and really does a fantastic job to get the appropriate angle so that when you get the firearm and installing it and inserting it into the holster, you'll see here, it really does allow this to sit and push the grip in. And I like that. That keeps this really flat and angled. And you'll notice right away, it actually angles more sideways than kicking out. Without that wing, this would absolutely be kicking out and would really be prone to printing. And another thing that's awesome about this particular holster, and I'm not going to do it, but take my word for it, the way this clip is, because it's recessed, you can actually take your shirt and tuck it in over the Appendix holster, and that's actually going to allow you to IWB while still having it with a tucked in shirt. So from a true concealability standpoint, fantastic. And then from a little more of a gray man standpoint, really cool too. And so you can see at this point, I do have the ability to easily withdraw. Again, nice full master grip without any difficulty. And then even though got to be a little bit careful, nice and slow, deliberate reinstall, no problem. And take a look at that gap under there. Again, my ability to easily get on that and withdraw. So from a practical standpoint, from a concealability standpoint, from a mobility, dexterity, and I'd say manual of arms perspective, fantastic. Everything about this, I just love it. And especially with the right wardrobe, really doing a nice job to properly conceal. In fact, the lumps that you see are like the other things in my pocket. It is not the firearm itself. If you really were trained, you'd see that that grip is way up here. All the other lumps that you're taking a look at are like just like stuff from my pockets, or just the way that the shirt is formed all the way up here. I mean, that's that little piece of that grip. And from that perspective, this is absolutely fantastic. It does its job wonderfully. So again, Hidden Hybrid Holsters doing a fantastic job. I love this holster. I can say I absolutely recommend it. And just rounding this out with a nice, cool little carry bag. Just super simple, super easy. It's actually kind of like a microfiber, so you could almost use it to clean off your firearm, which I will honestly probably do. And a copy of your pocket constitution, fully ready to go with your amendments. So that's definitely cool. And so with that, again, thank you guys for following along. That is the Hidden Hybrid IWB strong side, just gorgeous Kydex and leather combination holster for my SIG P229 Elite. Thanks again to the people at Hidden Hybrid who did provide this for review. For the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, look in the description box below where you can find your own Hidden Hybrid holster. And so with that, guys, thank you very much for following along. Take care now. I'll see you soon.